Starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe. And today we've got some early arrival events for this week. We're 90% certain that the end of the week, come Friday, is probably going to be focused around Blue Suit Mark as a new character. But Battle Beast has decided to come in for a little bit of an event warm-up here, with some very interesting stuff, as well as an interesting Cecil's Nightmare that I'm going to greatly enjoy. So, the first thing that popped up, technically yesterday if I'm not mistaken, is that we do have a new Cecil's Nightmare called Killer Instinct, or Killer's Instinct. Nothing too crazy here, it's only like a 20 stage event, but you will notice that this event does 100% confirm that Blue Suit Mark is a unique character. We were fairly certain that that was going to be the case, and this pretty definitively seals the deal. But the interesting thing about this one, this particular nightmare, is that, first of all, the loot's pretty good. It actually does have a few gems in it. Nothing too crazy, but better than nothing. But the event itself actually requires Viltrumite characters. Which, yeah, if you look at my lineup here, it means that I'm going to have a real good time. I'm going to have a real good time with that. I'll probably do that in a separate video in the future just to flex the team a little bit. But we're not going to worry about that too much right now because we have Battle Beast themed events. Now, this might seem a little random to those who haven't kept an ear to Invincible news, but apparently there is a Battle Beast comic. Comic the right word? I'd see. I'm a little uninitiated myself, if I'm being totally honest. There's a Battle Beast comic / graphic novel, however they do it, that is releasing soon, if not already released. And that's what these events are all about, giving Battle Beast his flowers and his time to shine. First of all, we have a worthy opponent. We haven't had one of these in a hot minute. Battle Beast is roaming the universe, traveling from planet to planet in search of worthy opponents. He won't stop until he finds someone who can finally end him. So what this is, it is basically a 3-minute long boss fight, where each wave is going to be a version of Battle Beast getting stronger and stronger and stronger until that 3-minute timer is up, and then you get some rewards. You can, of course, get the tickets from logging in, and you do get a few extra access card tickets for actually completing the Worthy Opponent event, so you do get some freebies there. And additionally, you can go to the store and get tickets with gems. Now, you at the very top here, you're going to see the Legendary Plus Battle Beast there. Don't go for that. I know it looks tempting because it's like it's a Battle Beast that's already built out the box, basically. For $50, no. I mean, if it was like Anissa or Conquest or Powerplex or Shapesmith, I could see the argument. It wouldn't be a good argument, but I could see the argument. But Battle Beast, he's not even a rare character per se. He's not even like an event character, so this, hard pass. Honestly, probably pass on the Omnipotent Plus gear too. Again, it's one of those that looks so tempting on paper, but when you really get down to it, especially once you get your equipment shop leveled up, Seismic gear will suit you just fine. Is the Omnipotent Plus gear better? Of course it is. But let's be honest, Seismic and Seismic Plus gear will suit you just fine until you get lucky. And, I mean, if you want proof of that, I have a fair number of Omnipotent Plus parts, not a lot, but at least a few iterations here and there. All things are possible with patience, so don't go spending your money on that, just especially with the new character event coming in the very near future. Save your gems, save your money. Except, I mean, I could see an argument where using a few gems on the Worthy Opponent event, because the rewards are actually pretty okay, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But definitely save your money. Don't spend money. Just don't. Now, this one is very interesting, because here's the deal. It requires invaders. And there's not a lot of invaders in the game, actually. If we do take a peek at our heroes list, and we take a peek at invaders, I mean, yeah, that is it. Literally, Universa, Anissa, Conquest, Russ, and Flaxen Leader. It's a small roster. Now you might think, okay, well, I'll just send in my Anissa and Conquest and clean up shop. There's a problem with that. Battle Beast's passive gives him Life Leech when he's fighting Viltrumites. And especially on the higher waves, that adds up in a hurry. Which means that, sorry guys, but Viltrumites are a no-go. So how are you gonna do any kind of reasonable damage in this fight? Well, you're gonna use Universa. And if you don't use Universa, then, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You are going to be heavily gimped in this event. If you don't have at least a halfway decently built Universa, you're going to be struggling a little bit. I'm going to be totally real with y'all. Now, the good news is that a Universa out the box will do just fine. You don't need her fourth skill powered up because you're only going to be fighting one Battle Beast anyway. You're not going to be getting that Chain Lightning because there is only one enemy to strike. Now, if you don't have Universa, then you can just use whatever you've got, but I will not be using Conquest, and I will not be using Anissa. The thing with Anissa, she does great damage, sure, but her main ability to knock enemies out of the field is actually counterintuitive here, and her passive only works on humans. And, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Battle Beast is very much not human. The real shocker there, I know. Conquest, I could see the argument, and he even does have an ability that can limit healing. And that at the end of the day, when the Battle Beast is going to be at a higher level, he will do so much damage that even one strike would be enough to totally heal him. And that's not ideal. So we're basically just going to have to throw in some trash mobs with Universa in the back. Now, if you do have Russ's passive ability cranked up to where he's boosting the attack of invaders, namely Universa, that will certainly help you out here. Now, let's take a peek and see how we do. I am actually going to take off the auto for now. We might need that later, but for now, I don't want time being wasted by level 1 Universas that are just trying to ult and doing no damage. So, like I said, since we are not bringing in any Viltrumites to the field, Battle Beast will not be getting his Life Leech, thank God, because trust me, at later levels, one strike is all he needs to fully heal, and you don't want that because it literally makes him pretty much indestructible, because he will be one-shotting. He will 100% be one-shotting people, and the last thing you need is for him to be maxing out to max health as he's doing that. It's not ideal. Thankfully, Universa more than makes up for the fact that the Invader faction is very gimped without Viltrumites. But again, if you don't have a Universa, sorry, y'all are gonna have a bad time. Universa's really getting some stocks this week, because between the Restricted Arena, which we'll talk about next video, and then this event, if you don't have Universa built, you might be regretting that a little bit. Because holy crap, she's getting a lot of market value. It's not enough that she is already a busted character, but she's like the one lifeline to use in some of these events lately, which is kind of wild. We are at wave 15, which is good. I think around the maximum wave that people tend to hit with a really well-optimized team is usually around the 20s, like mid-20s, if you're having a good day. We'll see if we manage that. Like I said, of course, the only real attacker we have is Universa, but did you see that damage? That man, I mean, I know he was striking a level 1 Universa, but he still did like a million damage, and you do not want him to heal even a fraction of that. Now, you might have noticed that Russ actually did something cool. Russ occasionally does get his confusion effect, which actually can shut Battle Beast down. Which, obviously is incredibly helpful. Thankfully, the level 1 mobs at the top are actually stalling him out. They're not stopping him, but they are protecting the main Universa, which is all you really want. I'm not using auto just because of the time it takes. I am actually going to pop that because he's trying to get close, and we don't want that. Okay, he one-shot Russ, but okay, Universa finished him before she could croak. That is good. But yeah, he is going to one-shot everything regardless of level. Of course, the kicker is, I mean, if you had more than one Universa for some reason, then, I mean, yeah, okay, you'll be doing amazing, but realistically speaking, you're not going to get a lot of people with that situation. Okay, so we got 23 waves. I've seen better, but it definitely could have been worse. So what you get here is we get some XP, we get lots of characters, which is pretty nice, and we even get some dossiers. We got one dossier on that one, and there is a chance to get gold dossiers as well. So it's kind of nice. The event can actually give you some pretty decent stuff. And of course, the chance to pull elite characters. I think it's Invader Elites. I saw a promo for the event that kind of explained it, but I am totally blanking on what it is, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. So basically, that is the Worthy Opponent event. Basically, this game's version of a boss fight. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is we actually got a new case file for the man himself, Battle Beast. If we get into the battle here, I wonder how it's going to start out, just out of curiosity. Oh, Universa. Hello, my friend. Who are you? What are you doing here? He is looking for a worthy fight. So I guess we're starting out with Battle Beast. Of course, the requirement is to use Battle Beast. And the requirement starts out at level 1. It'll go all the way up to 1,000 for the main normal missions, and then hardcore will be even higher. All the same loot as the previous elite character GDA case files that we've seen. The interesting thing about this is it debunks a theory I had about how these were going to be released. I thought it was going to be like a handful of case files released every update. This is telling me that it might be more on an event basis, which I'm totally okay with, by the way. I actually think that's totally fine. Because this is admittedly a pleasant surprise, and for those of you who like people who have invested in Battle Beast, this is going to work out very well. I have my Battle Beast up to Omnipotent Plus, I just don't have him leveled. But in spite of that, we'll still be able to get at least a halfway decent amount of loot, just in time for Blue Suit Mark. So we are going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think of these events down in the comments below. I do kind of appreciate having some events to lead up to the inevitable Blue Suit Mark event. Gives us a little something to play with as we are waiting for the big man himself. But yeah, so that is all we have. Let me know what you think of the video down in the comments below, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.